Hello, everyone. Welcome to Van Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanis. This is episode 105, season 5, and today's date is February 12th, 2022. And thank you for joining me today. And I have a very informative and enjoyable podcast today. Today's topics will be about the Morrison Hotel that was located in the Chicago Loop. Downtown, that is, and the TV show Here's Geraldine. That's a very old children's television show. Most people remember it. When I was growing up, I vaguely remember it. I remember people mentioning about it, so I was fascinated by the show. So I did a little research on it, and then we'll talk about some couple of other things, whatever comes to mind. But right now, the program will go into a commercial break. This program is brought to you by Gelatin, and here's a commercial from 1976. It's a strawberry float Jello commercial. So I remembered this one very distinctly. So here it is.
To make exciting desserts on a budget, start with Jell-O brand gelatin.
Let's make strawberry float.
Like Jam DeWitt of Albuquerque.
Here's all it takes. Just half-filled dessert glasses with thickened strawberry-flavored gelatin and chopped apples. Now, my trick. Tilt the glasses in the fridge. Chill 15 minutes. Add whipped topping, more gelatin. Chill upright. Then guard the door till dinner.
Watch for Mrs. DeWitt's recipe in February women's magazines. And start with Jell-O gelatin.
Imagine what's possible when learning doesn't get in the way of life. At Capella University, our game-changing FlexPath learning format lets you set your own deadlines so you can learn at a time and pace that works for you. It's an education you can tailor to your schedule. That means you don't have to put your life on hold to pursue your professional goals. Instead, enjoy learning your way and earn your degree without missing a beat. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
Alrighty, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial for Jell-O strawberry float. You know something? I found this commercial on YouTube, and my mother was walking by and she saw the commercial. She goes, "I remember that one," and it's amazing. She remembers that and the recipe. She's very, her mind's like a steel trap when it comes to recipes, and she remembered that you take the Jell-O, you fill it up with chopped fruit, apples, pears, pineapple, whatever you like. Then you take them and then you tilt them in the refrigerator, and then you add whipped cream, Cool Whip, and add more gelatin. And then you chill it, and there you go. There's your dessert. It's fascinating. You know, a lot of people are not big fans of Jell-O. I am. So that's the reason why I chose this, because this past week, I had my back tooth extracted. I fractured about a couple of weeks ago. And my dentist recommended to go to an oral surgeon to have it removed. And he said, you don't need an implant. First of all, it's expensive and it's in the back tooth, so it's not necessary. Not even a crown. Don't bother. I said, okay, that's fine. Because I had another tooth cracked about 15 years ago, but that's on the right side upper. That's almost not in the back, but it's in the middle. But I had an implant done. But this one was in the back on the left. So I was in pain for a while. It didn't hurt a bit when I went Thursday. And they told me to eat soft foods until Monday. So all I had was soup, Jell-O. That's why I play the commercial. If I have something hard, I would chew on the right side, but I would eat like a chipmunk. It's so hard. So I can't have any solid stuff. It's hard, you know. The only fruit I can eat was bananas because they're soft. I can't have an apple, because it's too crunchy. So that's but I'm doing better. I've taken Tylenol with codeine at night, but I don't want to take it too much because it's very addictive. So I'll be very, very careful. But it doesn't hurt. No, that's fine. So I'm stopped taking that. Hopefully it'll heal, and then in about a month or so, I will go to my dentist, have my teeth cleaned, and he'll take a look at it. And I'm sure I'll be healed by then. So it's that was interesting. I had a lot of health issues, but everything's going great. Everything's going fine. Okay, the second thing I want to mention before we start the show was this weekend is Super Bowl weekend. I don't intend to watch the show, the game. That is, I'm not a football fan. I mean, it's whoever likes it. Be my guest. Have a good time. To me, it's overhyped, overblown. It's just a game. And then people look forward to the commercials. I'll look at that. But the Puppy Bowl is on that same day, which I'm very intrigued by that because I like little dogs. I don't like big dogs. I might watch that. That'd be kind of fun. So I don't know what I'll do. I'll probably go in my room, read a book, watch a movie, take a nap, just relax, get away from. I have too bad anxiety, like that. That brings why because when I worked at my old job, American Express Travel, at any office you have a pool, a football pool, and there was this friend of mine, and he's going around with the football, with the squares, There was one guy, one person, I don't know who it was, a woman or a man, that didn't come to work. She called it sick. He or she called in sick. And he asked me, can you fill in the square? I know you don't watch football. Can you please do this for me to fill it up? And I said, all right. I did this as a favor. I did it fair. And I paid, I think $2, $5. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I never gave a second thought about it. So on the day, I don't know how that works. So my boss and the rest of the supervisors were in a conference room. And the friend of mine went in and told them who won. And it was me. And I heard my boss going, no, real loud. And she was pissed. So she was angry. And then when she came out of the conference room, opened the door, she looked at me like she had blood in her eyes. She wanted to win. And I said, she's mad at me. She was not mad at me because I won. She's mad at me because you don't watch football. Why'd you do this? Listen, I did this as a favor. I'm being a good sport. So I won $50. So that was I won $50. I was very happy. It's a funny story. So I asked my manager, can I use some of the money to buy pizza for everybody? And he says, yes, Peter, you could do that. I'll chip in the rest. You keep the 25 yourself. And I said, okay. So he chipped in and we bought pizza the next day. My boss didn't talk to me for about 2 days. She's still, what a sore loser. Well, reminds me of who ran the country. Anyway, so that was fun. So for the Super Bowl, everyone have a good time. Watch the game, It's just one day. They'll blow over it. And then the next day is Valentine's Day. So we'll say about that. All right. Now let's go down to what I'm going to discuss. The topics. It'll be the Morrison Hotel and the TV show Here's Geraldine, the TV show. First off, the Morrison Hotel. I left some clues about a day ago. I told them about a hotel that's been gone in the Chicagoland area, and a kids show that happened in the late 50s and 60s. A few people guessed that. They thought it was the Edgewater Hotel. No. Mm-hmm. They thought the kids show was The Magic Door or Elmer the Elephant or Kukla, Fran and Ollie or Ding Dong School. No, it wasn't that. It wasn't those. So nobody guessed it. So let's see. So the Morrison Hotel, it was designed by the architectural firm of Holabird and Roche, and it was completed in 1925. And let's see, it was located at 15-29 South Clark Street in Chicago in the Loop. And it took years to build that. And it was named. The hotel was named for Orsimus Morrison. He was the first coroner in Chicago. He bought the site in 1838, and then he built in 1860, he built a 3-story hotel with 21 rooms. That was big back then. Then it was destroyed by the Chicago fire in 1871, and then it was replaced by an 8-story building. So they rebuilt that. And for Morrison, I don't know, I forgot his first name. His nephew built a 21-floor, 500-room hotel. Got big. And then expanded, and then it was huge. a huge hotel. And what's famous about this hotel was they had a restaurant called the Boston Oyster House. And they also had the Terrace Casino, and it was like a nightclub. And then they had another nightclub called Carousel in the Sky. I think a lot of people remembered that. And I've heard the food was good. You know, they had wonderful performers that act. And presidents, former presidents stayed at the hotel. Like, for example, President Truman, President Eisenhower, and President Kennedy. They stayed at that hotel. I'm not sure it was a very luxurious hotel. Maybe it was, because my father worked at the Conrad Hilton, and some presidents stay there. There's a picture. I have a picture of my father shaking hands with Lyndon B. Johnson. We still have that. That's wonderful. It's kind of faded, but it's I cherish that photo of my dad with shaking his hands with the president. And they also had boxers, wrestlers, like, for example, Jack Dempsey, and also Gorgeous George, the famous wrestler. And they also had they had elections held there, like that, like for rallies and debates and like that. And let's see. And also the Airline Pilots Association was founded in the hotel's ballroom. And that's very interesting. So, unfortunately, the hotel was demolished in 1965. They built the First National Bank. Now it's the Chase Tower, but First National Bank, I wish they didn't change the name, because that was a Chicago company, founded in Chicago. And some people still call it that, the First National Bank, but then it turned into Bank One, then it turned to Chase. Okay. And so a lot of people remembered the hotel, and they said it was beautiful. And, a lot of history passed through the halls and the rooms. Amazing with that. Yeah. And then, so like I mentioned before, they had the restaurant called Carousel in the Sky. The menu consists like ham, filet mignon, chicken cacciatore, steak, wonderful desserts. They had their cocktails, famous martinis, Manhattans, probably I don't know, Rob Roy's whiskey sours, all that. So it was fine. So that's another hotel that's gone. There were a lot of them in the Chicagoland area. Okay. Second thing I will talk about is Here's Geraldine. And let's see. That was hosted by a man named James E. Stewart. Not Jimmy Stewart from the actor. But he was Jim Stewart, and I have a little background about him. And let's see, the show debuted in April 22nd, 1957. It was on the air every Monday through Friday on Channel 7. It was WBKB, not WLS. WLS changed in 1968, and it had puppets, and they were brought to life, and they told stories, they sang. It was a nice, clean, fun show. And Jim Stewart would play an instrument and sing along with the puppets, just like Sesame Street. The main character, Geraldine, was a giraffe. And the theme song of the show was Be Kind to Your Parents. So right now I'm going to play the song of Be Kind to Your Parents on Here's Geraldine. So here it is. And a lot of people remember, they love that song. So here is the song I will play right now. And then I'll be right back. Thank you.
Be kind to your parents. You know they deserve it. Remember they're grown-ups. A difficult stage of life. They're apt to be nervous and overexcited, confused rest from their daily storm and strife.
Just keep in mind, though it sounds odd, I know, most parents once were children long ago.
Incredible! So treat them with patience and sweet understanding, in spite of the foolish things they do. Someday you may wake up and find you're a parent too.
Just keep in mind, though it sounds odd, I know, most parents once were children long ago.
Incredible! So treat them with patience and sweet understanding, in spite of the foolish things they do. Someday you may wake up and find you're a parent too.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the song. Oh, that's a catchy song. I'm sure a lot of people who grew up watching this show remember it fondly. And that I think that song's from a Broadway play. I'm not sure. That's what happened. So anyway, the person that did the voice of Geraldine the giraffe was Jim Stewart's wife. And her name was Rosemary Stewart. She had a long name. So anyway, let's see. I'll tell you. Yeah. Her full name was Rosemary Anastasia. Well, I say it in Greek. Anastasia Lightfoot Lee Taylor, nicknamed Bud. And the song is from the Broadway show A Little Night Music. And so they got that song. Someone told me that Pete Seeger wrote that song. Maybe it's a different song. I don't know. I have to hear about it. And she was a teacher at Columbia Radio College, and she performed at the Goodman Theater downtown. And so she provided the voice of Geraldine, and she provided the other puppets. So I will read off the other names of the puppets. Okay. And let's see. The other puppets were Pearl the Squirrel, Virgil the Vulture, Pierpont Crocodile, and Helen Hippo. Also, there was John the Duck. And he was not seen on television. He was in the back, and he was quacking, like the penguin, like that. So, and so I don't find any clips on YouTube about that. Not really. I think they're not recorded. I don't know. It's a shame about that. And so let's see. Jim Stewart was, let's see, I'm trying to read his biography. I'll try to find that. All right, here we go. Actually, he was not from Chicago. He was born in Paducah, Kentucky in 1928. And, he was a very nice man, very quiet, also very talented. He never graduated high school. And I guess he just learned the hard way, And also they hosted another show for 1 year. It was called The Glovables. It ran from 1960 to 1961. And they used gloves, like the same thing. And they did it was similar like to, here's Geraldine. They used all the puppets. And then they also hosted a syndicated show called It's Light Time. I don't know about that. It was a children's religious program. And it also had puppets. They had that. Okay. And so here's Geraldine left in 1965. And that was on for about 8 years. And then Jim Stewart hosted a show called Passage to Adventure. Now, I remember this show. I remember seeing it when I was little. And it aired on the same station, Channel 7. And it ran for a long time. It ran for 12 years until 1977. He also hosted 2 other shows called Safari Land and Game Room. I'm not very familiar with that. And then in later years, he was a hypnotherapist in private practice. I guess he went to school and learned how to do that. That's interesting. I had no idea. And he hosted a radio program called Practical Spirituality. I can't say the word. Spirituality. Thank you. And A Course in Miracles. Excuse me. Both on radio station WVVX FM. And hosted that for a while, and then he passed away on March 28th, 2001. He had Alzheimer's disease, so that's very sad, But I remember seeing him, and I think you can find that show, Passage Adventure, on YouTube. I think you can. You can find an episode. He was featured on TV Guide covers and Chicago ones. So I found that show very fascinating. That was like pre-Sesame Street. And, also like there was other puppet shows like Cuckoo, Fran, and Ollie. That's a show I like to discuss about that because I enjoy that show very much. Okay. So a lot of people were disappointed because they thought I was going to talk about Garfield Goose, and it's not true. So I will talk about Garfield Goose in a later episode because they have a special anniversary coming up in September. Like I did one for, excuse me, Buzzle Circus last year. I'll do one for Garfield Goose. Excuse me, drink some water. Yeah, forgive me. Every time I talk, I have to drink. So that was, so I enjoy talking about Here's Geraldine. And then the puppets look so cute, And we need more shows like that. This was pre-Bozo Circus and Garfield Goose. Anyway, so now today I discussed the Morrison Hotel that was located in Chicago Loop, and then I also discussed Here's Geraldine. So this is kind of a short program, and I hope you enjoyed that. So this is episode 105. Vanishing Colin Stories, the podcast. I don't think I'll do another episode tomorrow because it's Super Bowl Sunday. You think people will listen to me and they have time? I don't think so. I don't know. I might do a show on Tuesday, but I think I have an errand to run that day, so I'll have it ready just in case. But if that errand comes through, I won't air it. I'll probably air it next weekend. Because I was planning on discussing Valentine's Day. So we'll save it for that. Okay. Anyway, so this is Pete Costanas. I'm your host for Vanishing Colin Stories, the podcast. Thank you for listening to me. And everyone have a great weekend. Have a great Saturday, Sunday. Have a great weekend. Stay safe and healthy. And right now, here is Ray Rayner with a little traveling music, saying bye-bye for now. So here's bye-bye now from me. Take care, everybody. So long.
We have to go. Bye, bye, bye.